Good evening. Are you sick and tired of being, of going to work every day, doing your job, helping people, helping your business, and feeling good about your work, but still you're too tired and you find yourself taking too many sick days? And you don't understand why. You've been to the doctors, they're saying there's really nothing they can find wrong with you, but you know something isn't right. My name is Gogo Griot, and I'm an ancestral healer. I'm also a retired registered nurse, and I'm a Reiki master and a practicing Vajrayana Buddhist. And today I just want to share with you a little bit from my own experience, my life experience of self healing. And I'm going to talk about healing your body, but your whole self. Because when you understand the source of your healing power, you'll find you can feel so much better, so much more quickly. Even if it is a physical problem, even if you have a chronic disease or a chronic problem, you can feel better. You can make yourself feel better. How? The first is your old ticker. Not your heart. Your heart has a lot to do with this. But this time, your brain, your mindset, what you think about, what you learn, what you listen to, and then what you say. If you have in your mind that you are a healthy person and you will do what is necessary to be healthy, you start to find out what you need. Now, there is so much information, you can get overloaded, and I always advise you to first go to a respected medical doctor or naturopath doctor if you're having physical symptoms that you cannot resolve, because there are some problems that require a specialist. So you should always, always see your doctor. But if they say it's something that they can't find or figure out, there's something going on inside of your mind or your energy or your spirit that is making your body not well. And it is up to you to figure out what that is, because no one else can figure it out for you. If a doctor cannot find a physical problem, even if indeed later on they will find out, as there are some problems that take doctors a long time that have physical basis, such as Lyme's disease, certain types of chronic pain. So don't give up if you know you have a physical pain that has a physical problem. Do not stop seeking help from licensed medical providers. And particularly if you have tried energy healing or alternative healing. There are many types of pain and illnesses that take doctors a long time to find out, and some have genetic or ancestral roots, and some just aren't known, some are rare. So never give up hope of being able to solve your pain problem, especially if it has any kind of a physical basis. But if it doesn't have a physical basis, and even if it does, there's ways of dealing with the pain, of being able to not say we can transcend it, but to put it in another place in your mind and in your body. The first is to remember you are not your pain. You are not your disease. You are not a diabetic. You are a person who has been told they have this condition called diabetes. Does not make a difference. You're not a diabetic. You're a person who has a problem and a challenge called diabetes. And it can be approached in many different ways, largely through your diet, but also through your mindset, because it's a tendency of our mind to lead us to think that we can find comfort in things outside of ourselves. So that if you've been told you're a diabetic and you're not supposed to eat sweets, your mind is going to say, "Oh, I really want sweets to make myself feel better because I can't do the things other people can do because I'm a diabetic." No, and we know better. And that's just one easy example of a physical problem which has to be managed medically, but can be managed medically and through your own diet and through your own mental determination to do the exercises, to eat the food so that you don't have to take the medicines. Now, that's just one simple, basic way of doing self healing, even though you involve medical help. The medical industry will not make you well without your participation in the process, whatever your situation is. But if you have a pain or a problem or a feeling of a lack or a feeling of constant fatigue, or you find that you can get through your workday real well, or you can take care of the kids all day, or you can teach all day, or you can do that nursing shift. But when you get home and on the weekend, you are dead in the water. You can't do anything. No one can depend on you to have fun. You've forgotten what it's like to have fun. So you know something is out of balance. Even though you're saying you like your job or you're happy in your family, you know something's wrong. Either you've gained weight or you lost weight too. And you're either dressing to the tilts, nines, or sometimes not even caring, or just getting by. What we're talking about is you know something isn't balanced in your life. You can pretend and keep on at the level you're moving at until one day it's going to crash on you. And usually, what crashes is your body. And I can tell you a story. I was a nurse for working full time, and I finally wanted to work a part time. And I worked long hours. I would work. Sometimes I would be the person closing the doors when the night cleaning shift came in. And this is my last job in a community clinic. And I did okay. I would get sick and I had gained more weight than I wanted to gain. But finally I said, this is enough. I'm done. I resigned. Exactly a month and a day later, I was in the hospital because I had vertigo and nausea to such an extent I couldn't move. That's all it was an earache. But was what was interesting, it was that all of that pent up energy that I had held back while I was working. Now, this hospitalization also happened after I had been sick with a cold for a month. And I hadn't been sick that long in a long time. But once I quit the job, that stress was released and my body just collapsed. And I was lucky that because I had maintained the practice of almost daily yoga or qigong exercises and doing my spiritual practices, I didn't get as sick as I could have. So when you know it's time to make a change, when you know you're out of balance, and that's why I quit. I knew it was time for a change. I knew that having worked in that job for almost 3 years, It was not going to change from anything that I suggested. Anything I'd suggest was usually put on the back shelf, and it was in a constant state of drama and change that usually was not productive. So I said, I can do better in my life, or at least reduce the stress. And I was old enough to get my Social Security. And it's always good to have that little bit of security in your life to know that you can take a breath to find out what it is that you want and need. So, when you're talking about self healing your whole self, look at what is your whole self. You have your body, you have your mind, you have your spirit, your energy, and you have your emotions. You can look at yourself the same way as if you were a doctor. You can do the whole, begin with a body scan. What in your body is aching or not feeling right or doesn't function the way it used to? Is it because of age, because of lack of exercise or use, because of lack of interest or enthusiasm or motivation? Or have you hurt yourself? Were you in an accident? Did you fall? Look at your body and look at what is good, feeling good and what isn't feeling good. Next, your mind. What is on your mind all of the time? Are you always thinking about your job and your dissatisfaction with it, or your satisfaction, or your ambitions, or the ideas you have that never get implemented? Or are you thinking about your family and worried about your children and them getting good grades or getting into a good school or making your spouse happy? Or why is your spouse not happy? Or are you just feeling like you're just floating through life, not thinking about anything, forgetting what your ambitions were, just trying to make ends meet? But when you do stop to think, you don't feel good with what you're thinking because you know something's out of balance and you want everything to be perfect. And rather than really examine what isn't perfect, you're just going to smile and keep on until you reach the point of recognizing, no, this is not what you want. Something is out of balance. So, what is it? If you don't know right off the top what is out of balance, if you're not having physical problems to look at, how do you find out what is out of balance? Oh, there's many ways. Question yourself. Talk to yourself. You could even get on Zoom and pretend that you're interviewing yourself. And you could say, it would be like, you could say, I'm the interviewer and you're the interviewee. I'd say as the interview, hello there, Miss Gogo Grio. What are you thinking about today? Well, I am thinking that I really want to help people and I want them to know that they can help themselves, that all you got to do is think your own thoughts and feel your own feelings and know what is going on in your own life, in your own body, in your own mind, free of what anybody else thinks, whatever's the latest in the news or on Instagram. What are you thinking and feeling at this moment? What are you thinking internally? What are you feeling in your body? Then the energy. What is the energy around you? Do you know that we have supposedly around us this much energy is an arm's length is your aura. But how often is that being invaded? How much energy of other people are you taking in to your own auric energy? And if you are taking that energy, is that helpful energy? Is it healing energy? Is it comforting energy? Is it friendly energy? Is it loving energy? What is the energy you are allowing or have to allow in your space? Is it energy you want? And if it isn't, how do you clear when you can be free of it? And there are ways to clear the energy and clear your space around you and clear your auric field so that you are protected from energy that is not helpful or healing. And some energy that could, yes, be malevolent or harmful. So we've looked at it quickly: physical, mental, energetic, spiritual. Now, of course, there's spiritual for those who wish. You can pray or talk to your spirit guides or throw tarot cards or get a tarot reading, or you can see a Reiki healer or have a distant Reiki healing, or of course, you can always connect with your ancestors and have an ancestral healing. So these are just a few of the many, many ways you can begin to consider and go about self healing. Now, some of you may be like I was when I was a child, that even though I found myself on a couple occasions being sick and one time even being in the hospital, a thought, just a thought, made me start to get better. When I was young, I had a sleeping sickness. I was in fifth grade, and I literally could be sitting talking like this and then totally asleep. And I wasn't eating. That's why my parents knew I was hungry. And then I fainted and ended in the hospital. I still wasn't eating until I overheard the doctors talk about feeding me intravenously. My baby sister had been fed intravenously and had made it out to be the worst pain in the world. So I started to eat almost immediately. And they never did quite figure out the whole genesis of the sleeping sickness, but I did start to eat on my own because I did not want to get stuck. Later, as in high school, I had a plantar wart and it hurt and it was big, and they talked about giving me surgery. And again, I did not want to get cut. And I researched and tried different things and got rid of that plantar wart, though they seem to come back. But I continue to manage on my own because as an adult, when you have insurance, you think you need to trust the doctor, and you go to the doctor for your plantar wart, and he says, "Well, I'll try this. I'm not sure it's going to work." And he does a freezing, and that costs you $200. And you go to the drugstore and find out you could have done the same thing for $40. So there are many reasons to explore healing yourself. First, saves you a lot of money. Secondly, helps you to get to know yourself. Thirdly, helps you to be more discerning and insightful when you go to see a medical professional because you're able to say with more authority what is going on with your body, mind, and feelings, what you've observed, what you felt, and what you need. And finally, getting to know your body, working to know your mind and understand how your mind influences how you feel and how your body reacts is rewarding. It keeps your mind young because you are always learning. And you're learning about your most favorite subject in the world. And that is this self, your energy consciousness is residing in at this time in space. So that is an introduction to how you can heal your whole self. And it's most important to remember that your whole self is body, mind, energy, spirit, and feelings. Now, if you have enjoyed or gotten a little bit of merit or information from this visit, please subscribe and please share. GoGo Griot aims to be here with a video every week. In fact, there will be two, one on Wednesday, one on Thursday. They may or may not be live, but I will be here. And if you have any questions, please share your questions in the comments or join our group, Ancestral Healing, the Energetic Connection. Until next week, remember to breathe deeply, smile, and be grateful.